Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? This is gonna be a review of Stephen King's It Part Two, the one that's out in theaters right now. And if you haven't seen it, you probably want to see the next few days because it's probably going to be going going bye bye soon, next week or two at least. Yeah, so the sooner you can see it, the better. If you want to see it in theaters, don't wait too long. So apparently, this is a really high grossing movie. This is a big deal. Its competition, of course, is as the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and I still think both movies are going to do great. And the nice thing is that the Joker is going to be out for a while longer after I think Stephen King's It Part Two. But anyway, I know this video might go on for a bit because there's a lot of things I have to mention in this video. I don't know, actually, by the way, if I've done really a video about clowns and evil clowns and evil carnivals and carnival colors and circuses and all that stuff. I don't know if I've done a video like that, really. If I have, it's been a while. And maybe I didn't cover it as in depth as I will for this one. Because this is going to be both a movie review and a lot of additional thoughts about clowns and all things in related to carnivals and things, bright colors and stuff like that. So here we go. First off, Stephen King's It Part 2. So I'm going to compare it with the 1990 made-for-TV miniseries, movie, whatever. Of course, I will be doing that, but I might be covering a lot of things that maybe other guys haven't talked about as much. So there's going to be a lot of spoilers here, by the way. Try to keep those to minimum, but if you haven't seen the movie, see the movie first, then see this. Unless you want me to spoil some stuff for you. So again, just a note to everybody, there's going to be some spoilers here. Again, I'll try to keep those to minimum, but you probably want to see the movie first if you want to see it before watching this. I would recommend doing it that order. Because this part 2, in my opinion, is it's much better than part 1. No offense to all the kids in part 1. They did a great job. Believe me, I love Finn Wolfhard. He is an awesome dude. He is just... I can't say enough good about Finn. And all the kids. All the guys that were in the first part of it. I love Finn. He's just a funny kid. Of course, he's in Stranger Things. I love that guy. Anyway, so... he reminds me basically of some of my brother's friends. Or at least a few of them when I was younger. Part... a little bit nerdy, geeky, glasses guy, part funny boy. I just love Finn. I mean, that's a lot of the roles he plays, and he gets so into his stuff. I can't say enough good about him. I love Finn. So, okay, so getting in back. I'm sorry, I'm gonna digress a lot in this video, folks. Sorry. This movie's got a fair amount of profanity, but the funny thing is that they say they drop a lot of f-bombs, but it's. As far as anything else that's objectionable, potentially objectionable, it really doesn't have anything much in the way of anything sexual that I saw. I had to go to the bathroom briefly when I was seeing it in movies, but I doubt that there was any. I don't think you guys have anything to worry about there. For the most part, I mean, it's a long movie. It's almost 3 hours. There's a scene. There is a scene where you'll see kind of in the dark, not really super, full on display and bright, you know. Well, there's a scene of an old lady running through a room that's kind of dark, and she's naked. So take that for whatever it might mean. It's one of the best scenes, scariness wise in the whole movie. But if that bothers you, you probably want to see when that part is in the movie and fast forward it or something. But be careful because it's also got a lot of scary stuff in it. And okay, so in this review, I don't want to tell you the whole story. I'm tempted to, but I think it's just something where you're gonna either have to read the book, see the 1990 version, and then see the movie. If you guys want me to tell you more about the story, I will. But I'm trying to keep spoilers to a minimum here, if any. Um, there's a lot of special effects. You guys probably assumed that was the case, but the special effects I think are more effective in terms of how scary they are. So the first movie, the special effects were they're kind of scary, sure. The second time around, 10 times as good. 10 times as I want to tell you again about a scene, but I want to keep again. I'm trying to avoid the spoilers. It just it's something out of they're nightmare fuel. There's a scene again. I can't say it. Okay, this is a huge spoiler alert, but not necessarily doesn't have to so much to do with the story itself. But there's a scene with Paul Bunyan, a statue of Paul Bunyan being in Derry, Maine. Paul Bunyan comes to life because the evil clown, makes it come to life to scare the crap out of I don't know who was it. It was Richie, I think. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I think it was Richie. And yeah, I mean it was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. This gigantic 50 I don't know 40 foot 30 40 foot, let's say 30 feet or so, gigantic guy with the big axe is trying to kill. Yeah, Paul Bunyan's statue comes to life. I mean, I can't. I'm not really doing it justice here. It's pretty terrifying. But again, it's just trying to scare the crap out of Richie and make fun of him and stuff. And that's just one scene of many scenes that are just going to be really memorable. I think this is a big one. This is one you want to see. This is so okay. Um. Yeah, I think some folks are going to have, on some level, some beef with the ending of the movie. They always do. Something like Stephen King. It seems to be a running joke. The end of his novels, the end of his movies. Yeah. They're not quite as good as you might. Whatever. But I thought it was actually pretty good. It wasn't bad. It's a little different. It's the second part of this two-part, more recent version of it is definitely more like the book, more like the original novel overall. In most cases, I mean, it has more content that the book actually had. It's true. Um, some scenes, especially so. Sorry about the phone. It just goes off all the time. I have no control over it. Um, anyway, so okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this movie just in terms of how scary it is and how fun it is. I mean, I give it a 9. I don't know if I give it a 10. Some people will definitely give this a 10. I mean, you guys, when you see it, it might be in your 10 range, but I give it a 9, which is saying something. And I can be a tough critic. I can be, especially as I get older. The older I get, the more it's just going to be that way. But it's got a lot of stuff to it. So by the way, a lot of folks that I know that are younger and that are just, no offense, they have lower IQs or they're more juvenile or whatever. They're good. Age is always just anyway. There's a lot of folks that miss a lot of things in movies and books still, and I'm not gonna get on their case about it. Everybody's different. I've always been sensitive to a lot of things in the arts and movies and whatever that a lot of people miss, and so a lot of people don't really. Okay, you'll see where I'm going here in just a second. I think you will. Let's just talk about clowns and carnival colors and that sort of thing, and just for a bit here, because that's Stephen King is with every one of his books and things. He explores different areas, different things that he's afraid of, and so there's some pretty deep themes at work here, Stephen King's a pretty smart guy. He's pretty perceptive. He's pretty deep. All that stuff. He understands these fears on a very deep level, and otherwise his books would not be as effective, would not be as good, not be as riveting. He speaks to the the spiritual side to everything he does. A lot of people say he's evil. I have to agree with that on some level. He's got a lot of darkness in his mind, right? But it's definitely not. It's not an aggressive type of darkness, but it's something where he's got some stuff right going on. In my opinion, some dark entities feeding him stuff, but that's just all conjecture. And I really would be civil and nice to him in real life. He's not a person that I would be aggressive toward ever, certainly. But this is all common knowledge. I mean, this is Stephen King we're talking about here. He's got some really really heinously dark and scary stuff he's written, and also a little bit morbid and sexual as well. That goes without saying. So that's why a lot of times you don't read the books. You watch the movies that are a little bit sanitized. So, and he's a hippie and all that stuff. So anyway, so yeah. But when King was exploring originally with Stephen King said, what he was exploring was not only coulrophobia, the fear of clowns. But on some level, he probably will understand. He understands how we respond to different kinds of colors. And I know I've mentioned stuff like this, like colors before in my videos. I mean, this is one of the things I've always been very, 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 very sensitive toward, and been able to articulate better somewhere around high school on, especially in college. But so, first obvious color, red. Obviously, when it comes to red, the first thing we think of a lot of times when it comes to things relating to the scary clown carnival thing is blood. And red is the hair of clowns are red, lipstick is red, nose is red. It's red everywhere. And it's like, it does suggest to the mind pain and really intense emotions, right? But physical pain is definitely one of them. It's scary. It can represent evil in a way that black doesn't. It's a power color, right? Black is you can't see anything. It's just scary because you can't see anything, and it's red is the intensity, the strength, the passion, right? The anger, the whatever, the sexual drive, all that stuff, and appetite, the appetite that the monster has to eat kids, right? All this stuff is associated with red, and when it comes to just having a good time at a carnival, circus, and not even trying to downplay the scary thing, red is present. Red is supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be lively, happy, and then when we see red in a better light, like the hollyberry tree. I know they're poisonous, but when you think of like fruit that's red, or red rosy cheeks, right? And whenever red is a good color, whenever it's used in a good way, it's something that it's a warm color. It enlivens the soul. It's we might think of cherries, right? We might think of strawberries and berries and things, apples, whatever. But it's like, or so it tastes good. It's sweet, right? That kind of red. But then blood would be the other, the dark side of this color. But red is really obvious, and it's used all the time. And anytime you have a scary clown movie of any sort, you're going to be using red a lot. And so Stephen King understands this very well. I mean, I think red is you might think it's white, but it's red is the most important color with these kinds of trains of thought and stuff. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants their bodies hacked off, parts of their bodies hacked, like in Saw movies. So that's a little different thing. Anyway, more gruesome and bloody. Okay, so let's go to white. White is the first impression that many of us have, is that white is a good color, because it is the best. It is the most heavenly color that we know of, maybe aside from like gold or something like that, or whatever. I don't know. So white is generally thought of that way, but it can also be very, just like we know, we don't have to look at just the Asian train of thought with white, which is a bit more of a color of mourning when someone dies and all that stuff. Next to all that stuff, probably next to the innocent, pure side of white and all that stuff, it's the ghostly side of white. It's the clown face, other than the red. White kind of shows you. I'm sorry again about the phone. I do apologize. This almost makes me want to go to a different room here for a bit. At least so. Anyway, sorry about this, folks. Okay, so it's very ghostly, and what I was trying to say is that white kind of shows you, kind of the spirit behind the skin, if you will. So yeah, white does suggest life, and whether it's evil or good life, it suggests life. It's the spiritual. It's the spiritual side of a being. And so when you see a white face, if you see a white clown face with the red and everything, the white part of the face, that ghostly white, it's like you're seeing a spirit, you're seeing a ghost, and that's why it can be scary. We often wonder why is it that? Is it just there's this uncanny valley thing that everybody talks about? Yeah, okay, but more than that, more than it looks like a human but not quite train of thought. In my opinion, it's the combination of red blood, oh my gosh, and white ghost or spirit, whoa, combination in clowns that kind of made clowns look scary in the first place. If you had somebody who was a clown and they put rainbow colored paint on their face and they just had every color in the rainbow, yeah, basically, sorry, 1 second, folks. Basically, 1 second here. Sorry. Basically, sorry, I'm gonna go this direction here, folks. Basically, hold that thought. Okay. Sorry, folks. My landlord just interrupted the video. It's okay. He's an older guy. So basically, that's what it is. It's red blood, red representing the blood, that being hurt, being in pain, possibly dying, and the white of our spirits, or the life, the part of us that is spiritual and alive. Now, all the other colors we can get into with carnival colors and things are kind of secondary to these two. I mentioned black earlier. Black isn't really a carnival color. Black is the color of, in my opinion, non-existence, or there being nothing there. But evil beings can inhabit that space that's black and hide, because they're trying to hide from what? The view of God, right? And that's what black is, and it can be frightening because you don't know what's in that space. You can't see. You cannot see in blackness. And that's really what it is, even more than being the color of evil. Black is the color of hiding, or not. It's the unknown, right? It's stuff that's in the blackness you can't see. I think that, again, that connection, there's a stronger connection with the unknown with black than there is with evil. I guess the demonic colors, for what it's worth, are red, blue, and black. All three of those, but we don't have to get into that right now. But so other carnival colors to mention here, because I'm kind of focusing on this a little bit, because this kind of ties in, of course, with the scary clown thing. But you should know now why clowns are scary. It has to do with the white and the red. And, there's a little bit of blue that, Pennywise in the original 1990 version had, the diamond shape around the eyes. And he kind of intensifies that a little bit, or adds a side to the whole clown thing. that originally was supposed to, I think, be fun, but it became, yeah. Blue again is one of the colors of, again, was one of the three colors of demonic colors: red, blue, and black. And think another way, red is what the color of the Bloods. What's one of the other big colors that's used by gangs? Blue for Crips, right? So in Superman uses red and blue. Now, blue isn't really considered a power color, but it is um, a color of note. I'll put it that way. Definitely a color of note. Um, yeah, red, green, and blue are. It depends on how you look at color. Red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors, but red, green, and blue are sometimes the colors that are considered more the primary colors in a different. I'm not sure what, some other kind of setup of color, but I don't know. Anyway, so yellow is obviously a color used a lot in carnivals, and with the first thing you think of with yellow, oftentimes something definitely happy, definitely joyful, and everything like that. And that's usually the case with yellow, or something kind of considered to be cowardly, but usually it's something happy and joyful and fun and energetic and all that stuff. Well, of course, with the scary clown thing, we're talking with yellow. We're talking not only carnivals. There's the yellow popcorn, right? Yellow mustard on hot dogs. The clown costume itself, a lot of times, has a lot of yellow or yellowy orange. I'm kind of including orange in the same train of thought, but it's going to be the yellow teeth, right? The yellow teeth of Pennywise in his real form. So it's going to basically be fangs in a scary clown train of thought. The yellow clown costume is supposed to be something fun and joyful and yeah, or the orangey yellow stuff. It's supposed to be happy and joyful and merry and all that stuff, and jovial and funny. But again, it's a good mask, like the smile idea, masking or hiding evil behind it. So, okay. The dark green used in carnivals. And I know, you can get into the whole medieval European thing too with carnivals and what all the colors are presented officially from medieval Europe, but you're probably going to have a lot of crossover with what I'm saying. I'm mainly speaking from my own psyche, how I respond to these colors in more like scary carnival kind of, or scary circus or whatever kind of train of thought. But dark green, and usually we're talking about dark green, not just regular green, but dark green. That's used in like circus tents and things. Um, it's a nice contrast from the other colors, like the darker blood red and the yellow. Um, so it's kind of the contrasting color. It's the artsy color in that respect. It's the cooler color. It's a calming color, right? It's not as vibrant as the reds, the oranges, or yellows, but it's dark green. So it's a little bit mysterious, maybe, in a way. Um, I think I'll leave it at that. And there's in the movie right? Whenever you see a lot of green, well, there's a lot, of course, green, the color of trees and grass and forests and things, but there's a lot of slimy green stuff going on, right? Um, yeah. So green can be a color that's like dark green, especially can be a color that's like the murky depths of the earth, right? The vines and stuff and whatever else, what other stuff like that, moss and who knows what. Um, so technically speaking, I don't really see purple and blue as being carnival colors. Um, but in at least they have some significance to me still in this whole scary clown train of thought. Purple is usually the color of the magician in a circus, I would think. Purple and blue, really, but especially purple. Like the indigo range, basically the indigo range of colors. But you're talking about the magic hat, right? The blue magic hat, or if it's purple, it's definitely, or the fortune teller, right? The fortune teller, the gypsy fortune teller, right? Or something along those lines. So purple is kind of magical and kind of fantasy-ish, and it always has that quality to it. Blue, similarly, I mentioned blue already actually a lot, and having to do with the coloring around the clown's eyes. Again, that were originally supposed to be kind of just fun and more of an aesthetic thing, but they became, yeah, you could make that crossover with the scary stuff pretty easily. With again that diamond shape around the whole eye, or whatever. That especially if it's more of an isosceles triangle with half of it, the other, the narrower diamond look. It definitely has a sinister quality to it for sure. I've known this on some level most of my life. This was probably this. It comes to, like, for me, if I was ever afraid of any clown whatsoever, aside from the white and red and what it might symbolize, the if the eyes of any being are frightening, or if you get a weird vibe from looking in someone's eyes, that no matter what the person's dressed up like, no matter what's going on, that's going to be, oh boy, something that we don't forget. It's and you can speak volumes about this sort of thing, but blue blue diamonds around eyes, for me, were always what more of a frightening quality than they were an entertaining quality. However, I can see the entertaining quality as well. But getting talk about demonic colors and stuff. We're not even let's say talking about dark blue. We're talking about just a medium blue, or like even a slightly lighter blue. Not cyan, but like we're talking of aqua blue. Not green blue. We're talking just a regular blue hue, or like a slightly more medium blue. Or a blue that shows up really well, basically, almost a cerulean blue in a way. Even though cerulean I see is always more in a positive light, but that was, look, Tim Curry probably understands exactly what I'm talking about. So does Bill Skarsgård. Bill went with a little different look with Pennywise. Personally, I think that as far as the makeup and costumes and stuff, I prefer the original Pennywise look, the 1990 version. They nailed it. But I think Bill Skarsgård nailed it with so many of his expressions. He worked so hard on, and he had the eye that wandered. We all know that, and he had a good lip. I mean, Bill did really good. He did really, really good. But Tim Curry takes the cake for me. But I think Tim Curry is almost impossible to beat anyway. And I know Stephen King probably overall preferred this version over the 1990 version as it is. So, okay. I think we've covered the bases with the carnival colors pretty well. And you can see the link in with, of course, I'm sure you can. Particularly with the colors of red and white. Both colors being the darker side of those colors. Funny how white can be an evil color. It's really not evil. It's just that you're showing a being's spirit. Whenever you're talking about the whiteness of a clown's face, it calls to mind the ghost or the spirit of that person behind the flesh, right? It's the same deal with the Joker. Showing the white, even though he has green hair instead of red, you're showing that spirit behind the flesh. So that can be a little bit scary, right? Yeah. I'm trying to think anything else I've mentioned here. Well, okay, so there are a lot of things about carnivals that can be very frightening. The loud clown voices, or the loud master ringleader voices, or the entertainers. Which was originally jovial and fun and happy, and it can very easily turn into something intimidating for kids. All the bright colors, especially for kids, all the bright colors, all the loud voices, all the music that's supposed to be fun and jolly, but again, can really become something different if you're not careful. Your train of thought, and kids are always most sensitive to this sort of thing. So, anything else to mention here? I apologize for all the interruptions in this video. Sometimes this just happens with many of us, unless we live by ourselves or we know exactly what we're doing and we have a closed set and all, whatever. But life happens, whatever. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy the movie. I certainly enjoyed it. Again, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Hopefully you guys understand my train of thought with all the carnival colors and clown colors, and why you might be frightened, on some level beyond what a lot of people say, based on the coloring of clown costumes. That's why a lot of clowns will use colors like pastel greens and blues and pinks. And pink is especially like a girl clown color, but you have a lot of clowns nowadays that are going for these pastels and nicer looking colors. And the reason why is that they don't want to frighten kids. They want to bring happiness and joy and fun. And I totally get that. I think we all get that. All right. Clowns have definitely changed. I know over time. When my dad was born, this is my grandparents' generation. But I know there was a time in the United States and in Europe, especially, where your white face, your clowns with the white face paint and the red lips and everything and big smiles. That was seen as more of a jolly, happy thing, a fun thing, funny thing. It's definitely changed, and yeah, Stephen King tapped into that, the whole thing, and we all did, we all do, and I am doubtful that something is going to be as frightening for so many folks as clowns. And for some time, there might be something that comes along that might take the place of the clown, but it seems like other than demons or dragons, especially demons, clowns are kind of way high up the list in terms of frightening images. Um, and the thing is too is about it is that it could take the shape, could take the appearance of anything that anyone was afraid of. So this is one very, very despicable, evil being. Makes it all the more frightening, right? All right, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.